As Indian villages have looked for ages. The red man set up housekeeping in America so long ago that he's the real American, and all whites are just immigrants. Horsemanship still flourishes among the more vigorous tribes. Prosperous reservation life and farming have won many an Indian over to the automobile, but not these chaps. They ride like warriors of old. Getting ready for a tribal council, where each man has his chance to talk, loud and plenty. For the Indian is not a silent, unsocial creature. He loves the council, and he loves all sorts of big doing. Every year, a dozen or more tribes of the Southwest gather at Albuquerque for a grand powwow. Here, the Hopis, the Navajos, the Zunis, the Apaches, the Utes, and others come to show their folk ways, their sports, their dances, and their handicrafts. A true pageant of the first American. Here's an Apache woman and her papoose. Another Apache with a young descendant of some fierce warrior, but he looks peaceful enough, doesn't he? When a Navajo woman isn't taking care of her papooses, she's pretty sure to be weaving blankets. For many, many years, the Navajos have been noted for their artistry in this craft. The Hopis have a complicated system of ceremonial dances appropriate to the changing seasons. This is the butterfly dance, and these are Hopi youngsters doing their tribe's famous eagle dance. Hopi women still grind corn in just the way described by Spanish explorers 400 years ago. It's baking day. When on the trail, the Indian bakes his bread thin so it will keep. These women are turning out good-sized loaves for quick consumption. The dome-shaped oven, by the way, is an idea the Indians of the Southwest adopted from the Mexicans. The Hopis are still making baskets which are like those found in prehistoric ruins. The Hopi baskets are as famous as the Navajo blankets and the Zuni pottery. Who says Indian women never have any fun? At a powwow at Flagstaff, the Hopis and the Navajos had a tug of war. Neither side would admit defeat, so that's one Indian war that isn't over yet. Indians in Massachusetts. At this late day, yes, sir, they're the last remaining remnant of the Wampanoag Nation, and they've survived with some admixture of white blood after most of the other Atlantic seaboard tribes have become extinct. The Wampanoags gather once a year. This time, there's a wedding in the tribe. Here's the happy pair, and everything is carried out according to the ancient and complicated Indian marriage ritual. It just proves that you don't have to go out west to see Indians. But these Wampanoags don't live together as a tribe. The Indian is a natural athlete. Even the girls can run like an Indian. We make a great mistake when we think the Indian doesn't like fun. They love games of all sorts. Here's how they have potato races on horseback among the Navajos. A lot of us remember how Jim Thorpe and other Carlisle stars took to football. And of course, lacrosse is absolutely an Indian game. Here's another that I don't think many people have seen. It's an old tribal sport of the Cherokees. It's something like lacrosse, but there are 25 on a side. Each player has a particular antagonist to look out for, and getting the ball down the field and into the goal is plenty rough. After everything else in the world changes, the old Indian dances will still be the same. They're passed down from father to son, so that what we see here is about what the explorers from Europe saw centuries ago. And dancing is not just fun to an Indian, it's part of his thought and religion. Yes, indeed, every little movement has a meaning of its own. For instance, here's the dance that the Sioux warriors put on in honor of a visiting chief. Meet Chief Muskrat of the Sioux, boss of this particular powwow. These are the first motion pictures ever made of the queer religious dance of the Yaquis, the red men of Mexico. The ceremony lasts many hours without a stop and is a fantastic mingling of Christian and pagan rites. Here are the wicked fleeing from the Holy Spirit. This is an odd notion, the burning of Pontius Pilate. And this is the dance of the cleansed and happy. Sometimes the Yaquis will keep up this ceremony for as much as 48 hours without stopping. The Indians had to hunt animals in order to live, but he held them in high honor, too. Here's the deer dance, held just before a hunt. The Tesuque Pueblos sometimes hold dance festivals lasting 3 or 4 days, the red man's equivalent of the dance marathon. It's an astonishing display of endurance, this Tesuque dance, for they go on hour after hour without seeming to tire at all. If you wish to see some real Indians on your next trip west, you might remember that this pueblo is only 7 miles from Santa Fe. For the Indians are worth knowing. They're not the sullen fellows you may have thought them. No, they have a great sense of humor and are staunch friends. Of course, their forefathers used to fight the white man. But the white man forgets that, after all, the red man was the original owner of that valuable piece of real estate known as America. So let's give the real American his due. He was strong, courageous, long-suffering, and much wrong. After all, he was a great guy.